Good evening, Lake Orion. We're here tonight. I'm your host, Anthony, and I am a Taormina. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hang in there. Just got out of track practice.
Ian's not here today.
I think he either got affiliated with Carl or he got stuck in Detroit somewhere and stuck in infested traffic.
Oh, it's possible.
Hey, 275 is gonna close.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So
Anyway, let's talk about the NCAA tournament. The Final Four set. You've got North Carolina, Syracuse, Villanova, and Oklahoma. What's your take about this Final Four?
It's funny because let's talk about Syracuse and Virginia. Virginia had a 16-point lead against Oklahoma.
Against Syracuse.
Against Syracuse, and they blew that game. It's so funny because now Virginia can't play Michigan State anymore for their losses. This is their third straight loss in the Elite Eight. 2 more to Michigan State. And
one is to Syracuse.
One is to Syracuse.
Notice how both of them are S's. Do you have one's a green S and the other one's an orange S?
Well, I think the one to Virginia was a second round loss, by the way. But you look at Virginia, Tony Bennett's team, they've had a great year in the ACC, but how do you lose to Syracuse? Team you beaten 3 times.
Yeah, including the ACC tournament.
Including the ACC tournament, and this team loses. Terrible.
Do you think it helped Syracuse playing Virginia 3 times?
I think it did, in a sense, because they knew how to read Virginia's defensive schemes, defensive traps, and everything. I mean, like, you look at what happened with Virginia. This is a team that really is not a good offensive team. They're really not. They're a defensive team, where Syracuse is a team that plays, all they do is play a 2-3 zone.
Yep.
And that's usually
athletic 2-3 zone.
And that's usually Jim Boeheim style.
Athletic 2-3 zone.
Athletic 2-3 zone. But also, you got to give credit to where credit's due. I mean, they exposed Virginia's lack of offensive talent, and that's what happened.
Now, Syracuse is going to be playing North Carolina, another ACC team. The ACC's been dominating the NCAA tournament. Now, North Carolina and Syracuse have played a few times. What do you think about that matchup? North Carolina also beat Notre Dame, too.
It's got to favor North Carolina because you look at the size matchup inside. Marcus Page, a very good point guard. He's found his rhythm in the NCAA tournament. You got to look at their size inside. I think North Carolina will be too deep for Syracuse in this game. But if Syracuse can somehow beat Virginia, there should be no reason why they should knock out North Carolina. I thought Virginia personally should not have been a number 1 seed. Maybe Michigan State should have been number 1 seed, in my opinion.
Well, then we wouldn't have had the situation where Michigan State lost to Middle Tennessee State.
Right. That was terrible. That was unfortunate. That was despicable.
Do you blame Ian for that?
No, I blame some other people for that.
Oh, okay. Well, now you've got the other side. You got Villanova, and you got Oklahoma. Villanova seems to be a surprise team. Villanova was not a number 1 seed. They were number 2. So was Oklahoma. Do you think them both not being number 1 seeds helped them in this tournament?
It helped Villanova a lot because everybody was doubting them, especially with the past failures.
They're usually number 1. They usually go out in the second round.
I mean, like, you look at Villanova. They've had a history of failure. Jay Wright, teams have collapsed, but this is probably the best Villanova team since the late 80s. But then you look at Oklahoma, led by Buddy Held, who's a Player of the Year candidate in the country. He was Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yep.
what he's done in the tournament's been remarkable, but I just think Oklahoma's road, besides beating Oregon, knocking off Texas A&M, really has not been impressive. Whereas a team like Villanova, where they've had something to prove, and they've found a way to prove it, and they're back in the Final Four. At first one since 2009, I believe. So it's very huge for the V to go back to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you look at, the ACC, as I mentioned, has dominated this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on how the ACC dominated if you had 8 of the 16 teams were ACC schools? What's your take on that?
That just tells me that the ACC's been very good, either very good or opportunistic. Of course, Syracuse, with Michigan State going out to Middle Tennessee State, I thought Syracuse was very optimistic there. I think the reason why Syracuse is in the Final Four is because Michigan State's lost to Middle Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to look at the ACC. They clearly have shown why they're the best conference in the country.
North Carolina,
got
Duke.
North Carolina, Duke, Virginia, Miami, Notre Dame. You got to look at those type of teams and say, damn, what type of dominant conference is the ACC going right now? And they're playing very well right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying the rest of the ACC is garbage. There's a lot of good teams in that conference. And Louisville.
Right.
Let's not forget Louisville. This was a team that was a good team. They ended up not going to the NCAA tournament because of self-imposed sanctions. So that just tells how good the ACC has been this year.
Do you think that with the Final Four matchup, this is North Carolina's tournament to lose?
It is, because I just think that North Carolina has got too much firepower. Now, I think they're going to have some problem with Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
But
if it is Oklahoma.
With Oklahoma, but I just think this is North Carolina's tournament to lose. When you look at how good the Tar Heels are, they're deep, they're talented, everything looks perfect for Roy Williams' national championship run at North Carolina.
It's their first since 2009.
Right. It'll be their first one.
So that'll be very, very interesting to see what happens going forward.
Mm-hmm.
NIT, Valpo has actually been a pleasant surprise in the NIT.
I think they got a shot at winning it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Valpo wins it.
Don't they play BYU?
Yeah, they play BYU. I think they'll beat BYU.
Oh, that'll be
Madison
fun.
Square Garden. I think they're going to get the NIT final. I don't know who's on the other side.
Well, that'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
With the NIT, Valpo being very... It's nice seeing them in the NIT.
And, of course, you got the Las Vegas 16
Oh, yes,
tournament.
the Las Vegas 16. Felt like a bowl game with how long that tournament you had to wait.
I think Oakland will win that tournament.
You think Oakland does?
Yes. They're the main attraction there.
It seems like they are.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see. I mean, you got other teams like Old Dominion. You've got Northern Illinois. You've got, Santa Barbara.
Yep.
So, I mean, that'll be a very interesting tournament.
It's late at night, though.
It is. I mean, it's Vegas. So, I mean, they start at 9 o'clock Eastern time tonight. So, that'll be very interesting to see how that goes. It's the third game, I believe, of the tournament. So, and then if they win, they get to play in the quarterfinals semifinals at 8:30, which would be 11:30. So, imagine that.
Late.
That's going to be late.
It's sort of like a hockey game. A hockey game in the West Coast.
Kind of, yes.
Very similar.
Kind of, yeah.
Very similar.
Any final thoughts on the NCAA tournament?
Well,
or the
North Carolina to lose. NIT, I got to give Valpo the advantage. And then Las Vegas 16, got to give Oakland the advantage. CITC by, I don't know if they're getting a lot of respect right now.
All right. We will be right back with Between Taorminas on ONTV.
When I'm in Lake Orion and I want to catch up on sports, I watch Between Taorminas.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
All right, let's talk about the NBA playoff. Well, first thing, before we talk about it, I want to bring up something. The NCAA, go back to NCAA real quick. NCAA Division II tournament. Saginaw Valley State University went to the Elite Eight of the Division II NCAA tournament. Congratulations, Saginaw Valley State University. Congratulations, Matt Poaches and Mr. James Helliger. Job well done, gentlemen.
What about a Clarkston? Somebody from Clarkston.
Oh, yeah,
Mitch Bing is there?
I think so.
Yeah, Mitch Bing is there, played over there.
I'll have to check. But yeah, it's for sure. Yeah, you're right. It's I'm excited for. I mean, I'm happy for Saginaw Valley, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's go
But
to the NBA.
congratulations, Saginaw Valley.
Let's go to the NBA. Called
Going to work. The Pistons are not going to make the playoffs, despite the fact they're the 8th seed.
They're up 2 games on the Bulls.
Yeah, but I still think Chicago's going to make the playoffs.
Why?
Because
When you have
and this over their bet with Ian.
Yeah. And we have Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Paul Gasol. This team is going to make a run, and the Pistons are going to somehow choke, and they won't make the playoffs.
So you're saying that because of your bet with Ian, you're saying the Pistons are not going to make
They
it.
won't make the playoffs.
But the Pistons are playing all right basketball.
because they
have a
got
9-game
Atlanta
homestand.
Hawks.
Well, the only team
They
that's been
lost
beating
the
them is
Atlanta
Atlanta.
Hawks.
The only team that's been beating them is Atlanta.
Oh, this Piston team, though.
They could play Atlanta.
I'll tell you what right now, with this Piston team.
Right now, the Pistons are looking at playing the Cavaliers first.
I'll tell you what right now. They will not make the playoffs. They're going to collapse. Their schedule is very difficult to close out the year. You still got to go to Florida, South Florida, play Orlando, Miami.
Yeah.
This Piston team, they will not make the playoffs because I think Chicago's going to catch them. Despite the fact they lost 2 games, the team we surrender.
Do you think that the Pistons got a winnable schedule?
They do, but
Orlando and Miami look beatable, especially Orlando.
They do, but I just think that they're going to find a way to lose this game. They're going to find a way to lose.
You
Because
really
they're too
think
young.
so?
Yes, they're inexperienced.
Are you kidding me? You got Reggie Jackson,
Okay.
who's controlling the show. Casey Peep, who's making a case for defensive player.
Okay.
Very good defensive player. You've got Andre Drummond,
Okay.
who's a walking double-double.
Yeah, except if you play hack and
Tobias Harris.
Okay.
And the Pistons actually got a fairly deep bench.
They will not beat Cleveland. They will not beat Toronto. They can't beat Atlanta. I'll tell you why. Because, one, all those teams have thing called experience. And why I think the Chicago Bulls are going to make the playoffs is because when you have Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, and you have Paul
But the
Gasol.
Bulls have been struggling.
I know they've been struggling, but
The
they're
Bulls
gonna,
have not been
they're
playing
gonna
well.
get it
the
together.
Bulls have given up. I mean, the Bulls are. And this is the surprising thing to say about Chicago. Chicago's not been playing very well defensively.
No, and that's been a huge problem under Fred Hoiberg, of course, the first-year coach over there. And when you look at Chicago, I mean, you look at the Bulls. I mean, this is a team that really, they've been struggling. I think now's the time for them to pick it up, and I think they're going to pick it up, and I think the Pistons are going to somehow falter down the stretch.
You really think the Pistons are going to falter?
Yes, they will falter.
I think you're crazy. I think the Pistons will make the playoffs.
They will not make the playoffs.
Then they're going to probably play Cleveland in the first round.
And then they'll get killed.
That's going to be a tough matchup with Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if Chicago does make the playoffs, you're looking at playing Cleveland first. But Cleveland's not exactly been great.
No, they have been playing well lately, but when they are in playoff mode, it's a whole other animal. I'll tell
Well,
you
LeBron James is claiming he's in playoff mode. What's your take about the whole LeBron wanting to play with Wade, Carmelo, and
Where are you going to get
Chris
the super
Paul.
team at? Where are you going to get the super team?
maybe Cleveland?
Maybe Cleveland, maybe Miami again.
I
maybe
doubt they
New
want to do
York.
Miami.
Maybe New York,
Why New York?
because that's where the Knicks are at. But
They won't do New
but
York.
it could be Cleveland.
Could be.
But
who
I don't
knows?
think Dwayne Wade would go to Miami to go to Cleveland. I think he's too loyal to Miami. And you got Pat Riley there.
Right.
So if you think about it here, this will never work. This will never work.
You don't think it'll work?
No, it will never work.
Golden State. You think Golden State's got a chance to catch the Bulls record?
95-96 Bulls?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because the way that they're playing. Stephen Curry's playing well. Klay Thompson's playing well. Draymond Green's playing well. I mean, when you look at that team, they don't have any true weaknesses on that team. They really don't.
They play small ball.
Other than they play small
ball. They don't
ball.
play traditional.
No.
I mean,
the
Golden
only
State's
team,
kind of
the only team that
small
can, the only team I think that can definitely beat Golden State, and that's the one, San Antonio Spurs. They're the only team I think in that
Greg
Western
Popovich,
Conference
you've got
can
all
knock
that.
them off. And you have Tony Parker,
Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili,
when healthy.
Canal Leonard.
But when healthy and not rested, and well rested, I think the San Antonio Spurs have a great shot to knock off the Golden State Warriors.
So you think San Antonio can knock off Golden State?
They're the only team that can knock off Golden State.
You think the Mavericks make the playoffs?
No, Dallas does not make the playoffs.
So who do you think makes it in as the 8th seed? Houston, or does Dwight Howard make playoffs?
I think Dwight Howard makes the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
I think Houston makes the playoffs because of the way James Harden's playing right now, Dwight Howard's playing right now, Trevor Ariza is playing right now. I think when you look at Cleveland, when you look at Houston, I think that they're going to find a way to bounce back, except they're going to be playing the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the playoffs, which is unfortunate because that's a rematch of Western Conference Final.
Is Cleveland the favorite in the East?
No, I got to give the edge to Toronto.
You think Toronto?
Because when you look at Cleveland's been struggling. I think Toronto's been playing much better basketball than Cleveland.
What about Atlanta?
Atlanta's getting there, but I just think right now when you look at the Eastern Conference, you got to look at the Boston Celtics.
Oh yeah.
The Indiana Pacers, and of course the Miami Heat. But I just think when you look at the,
I mean, they're talking about Cleveland-Miami semifinal.
They're talking about that, yes. But I just think
you said Miami would beat Cleveland.
I think Miami can beat Cleveland. I really do. The way that they're playing, I think when you look at the teams in that Eastern Conference right now, I think it's Toronto. I think is a better team than Cleveland right now.
Any final thoughts on the NBA?
Well, when you look at the NBA, I think that the Clippers are a team to keep an eye on, especially when Blake Griffin comes back.
Right.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens there.
All right. We'll be right back between Taorminas on ONTV. Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina talking OA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OA Now. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
Let's talk about the NHL playoffs.
Isn't this beautiful? The Detroit Red Wings are not going to make the playoffs.
You really don't think that's
You know what? And I'm going to tell this right now to somebody. Can you put me on the camera right now? I'm going to tell somebody right now. This guy's name is Bob Bridges.
Uh-oh.
This guy is so evil that he knows deep down that this guy needs to be a Dallas Stars fan. Because I'm telling him right now that this is going to be the year the Detroit Red Wings did not make the playoffs, and the Dallas Stars are going to be the team that makes the playoffs. And if you ever see this guy, and I know where he lives, I want everybody here to tell him, I told you so! Go, Stars, go!
Yep. You can never, ever really get, you can never really, I feel for Bob. I really do.
Why? Tell me one reason why you feel bad for Bob Bridges.
Your infamous love for the Dallas Stars. What if the Dallas Stars don't win the division? What if they got to play the Chicago Blackhawks first? That's a tough matchup for your Stars.
I'm scared.
I know you're scared. You have every right to be. Chicago's been the class of the NHL Western Conference.
I'm scared but I feel confident the Stars will win the division, and they're going to play either the Minnesota Wild or the Colorado Avalanche.
Right now, it's looking like the Wild.
It's looking like the Minnesota Wild, who are like Dallas's little sister. It's the Minnesota Wild because they're nothing more than a bunch of cheap and great, no good Minnesota North Star wannabes. That's what I call the Minnesota North Stars.
The Minnesota Wild.
Yes, the Minnesota Wild. But I'll tell you what right now. The Minnesota Wild are not the Minnesota North Stars. The Minnesota North Stars are the Dallas Stars, and they're based in Dallas, Texas. And I know a couple people here that need to bow down to the Dallas Stars.
Don't start.
Yep, and one of them I just mentioned is Bob Bridges. So I encourage our viewers, if you ever go near Bob Bridges' house, you tell him, "Go, Stars, go," and I told you so. And he needs to bow down to Victor E. Green. Because Victor E. Green.
That thing looks like a booger.
He does not look like a booger. He's the greatest mascot in sports.
That thing looks like a booger.
He does not look like a booger.
Well, anyways, you made mention to it. You said that the Detroit Red Wings were not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
You said the Philadelphia Flyers were going to get the last playoff spot.
Yep.
Now the Flyers got a game in hand over the Wings.
Yep.
And
they play April 6th.
But both teams play this evening.
Yep.
The Wings play the Sabres. The Flyers play the Flyers play too. So the Jets. They play the Jets. So do you think Winnipeg helps the Wings, or do you think the Sabres
Philly
help the Flyers?
wins. I think Philly wins and Buffalo wins tonight.
You think Buffalo wins?
Yes, because
Why?
Detroit's spirit was broken when they gave up 7 goals to Pittsburgh.
But Pittsburgh's
Pittsburgh.
a wild card team.
Yeah, but this is a bad loss, though. Because when you lose 7-2 to Pittsburgh, then you have problems. You have big problems.
So you're saying, but Pittsburgh's not a bad team.
No, but I'm saying to you, Detroit is done. They're doomed. I think this team is finished. There's no doubt when I look at my mind that the Detroit Red Wings are finished. And you know what? And if I'm Bob Bridges right now, I'm changing teams right now.
Why?
Because you need to get rid of the red, and I'm telling everybody right now, get rid of your Red Wing gear. Change over. Wear your victory green. Be a Dallas Stars fan like me. Because everybody knows the Dallas Stars are going to be a team of the future. The team of destiny is going to be the Dallas Stars. And we all know it. I know it. Bob Bridges definitely knows it. Bill Reese knows it. Ian Weatherspoon knows it, and he's not here right now. Because the Dallas Stars are the team of destiny.
Are you sure you're trying to encourage little kids instead of embracing their hometown hockey team, the Red Wings, to embrace the Dallas Stars?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So you're telling young people to idolize the Dallas Stars?
Yes, because they got 2 great guys in Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin. You watch it over there. What do you have? Jason Spezza. You have Johnny Adelia, Patrick Sharp. You know what I mean? This is a great hockey team.
Kids don't know them guys.
They will get to know them guys.
But what if the Blackhawks eliminate the Stars?
The Blackhawks won't eliminate the Stars. The Stars have had their number this year.
But what if this is the playoffs. The Blackhawks do a lot better in the playoffs.
Yeah, but the Stars have had the Blackhawks number this year.
That's the regular season. I'm talking about playoffs.
The playoffs are going to be a different animal. I think the Stars will be.
Hey, you're right. The playoffs are a different animal.
But I think the Stars are going to play the Wild. St. Louis is going to play Chicago. And I think Dallas is going to move on and get the Western Conference Final. Take out Los Angeles, and then they're going to win, and then they're going to beat the Washington Capitals or New York Rangers and win what's rightfully mine, my Stanley Cup.
Boy, Brad Chisholm would support you if it was the Stars and Capitals.
Because we all know deep down, and especially this one man named Bob Bridges.
This is the third time you're talking about Bob.
Yeah,
Why?
I can
What has he done?
I can tell you deep down that a new star is rising.
What would we're going to eventually get Bob on here.
Yeah, but he knows a new star is rising.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he knows. He knows deep down. He does know. And we all know Bill Reese knows. We all know Eric James knows. We all know Ian Weatherspoon knows that a new star is rising.
Do you think Ian's visiting the Kansas City mascot?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Royals?
He's visiting Kansas City, Missouri right now.
You think he's in Kansas City, Missouri?
Yes, he's supporting the Royals. He's saying, ooh, come on, Kansas City Royals. Hey, I love the Kansas City Royals. And I wear royal blue. And I don't wear a stupid Catman suit. I am wearing now a new royal blue outfit.
So you think that Ian's got rid of the Catman costume?
He got rid of it and burned it.
I hope you're right.
Yep.
I really, really hope
Because
you're right.
here's why. Ian Weatherspoon, he needs to be a Kansas City Royals fan. The Kansas City Royals, defending World Series champions, he needs to change his allegiance and become a Royals fan. Because they're a perfect team for him. Perfect
All right.
franchise.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Everybody, if you ever go to Bob Bridges' house,
Don't start on Bob.
I know where he lives, and this is what you say to him. I told you! I told you! Go, Stars, go! A new star is rising!
That was very horrible.
How was that horrible?
That was horrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is it for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lake Orion, have a great night, and see you soon.